back. And count all the reasons we are the champions. There ain't no turning back. Saying, oh, can't you taste the fear?
This year's theme is empowering human development in an increasingly globalized society. Human development is about ensuring that people have the sufficient resources to pursue their objectives and their goals in life. This is done through providing proper healthcare, proper education, and fostering a sense of communal belonging amongst individuals in the society. Through doing this, we can foster understanding between us and develop compassion, reducing the divisive issues that plague our world today.
Since the dawn of mankind up until the 21st century, we produced approximately 2.5 quintillion bytes of data during all that time. After the 21st century, we produce this data on a daily basis. This feat has become possible with the introduction of the internet, where billions of communications are made each second, and therefore we can see how our progression has become increasingly reliant on interdependence.
Human development encompasses an approach that focuses on expanding the richness of human life. It entails giving people more freedom to pursue what they value in life. And in a world where interconnectedness is at its peak, it is crucial that we create at least an environment, individually and collectively, for people to value what they really want in life in order to have a reasonable chance of leading creativity and productivity in their lives.
I'm honored to be in this prestigious position, and I'd like to say that it's been a tremendous honor to be part of the 13th annual conference. I'm extremely proud of how far we've come as a team. The executives, the secretariat, the directors and the admin team have been working closely for the past 8 months to ensure this successful conference. And I'd like to thank everyone who contributed. To those of you who are in your first year of MUN, you have years of experience ahead of you. And to those of you who are in your last, I truly hope that your experiences have shaped your future.
Kicsmun is more than just a 3-day conference. We don't realize the tremendous amount of work and effort put in by the executive team, the directors, the secretariat, and the admin staff prior to the conference until you become a part of it. This year, I got the opportunity to work alongside an impressionable group of students to make Kicsmun 13 the best conference yet. We, the people of the United Nations, are determined to make Kicsmun the best Model United Nations conference in Africa.
This year, as the head of communication, I oversaw the journalists and the photographers as we attempted to capture the essence of debate through pictures and words. We attempted to open the door of communication between the Kicsmun conference and the community in which the conference is held.
Through world peace.
Cooperation among countries.
Eradicate extreme hunger and poverty.
Educating our youth.
Equality.
Equity.
Unity.
Setting goals.
Love. Kindness.
Technology.
Investment.
Altruism.
Dedication.
Collaboration between different nations is key. Meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future.
We are the Security Council. Our topics are the maintenance of the security of civilians in territories occupied by the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and efforts to eradicate organized crime in West Africa.
When choosing our topics for this year's conference, we chose to focus specifically on the protection of civilians because when discussing broad conflicts such as this, we often disregard civilian casualties as just an aspect of the much larger problem, or just collateral damage. As for the second topic, the proliferation of organized crime in West Africa has proven to be detrimental to the region's economic stability and political status.
And by removing these barriers, we will truly empower human development.
We are the Economic and Social Council. Our first topic is measures to cope with food shortages in sub-Saharan Africa.
So, as Arday said, this topic in essence tries to solve food shortages in Africa. Many nations come to solve this issue.
powerful nations also put their best into investing into solving this issue, and we try to tackle this in ways the UN has seen before and in ways the UN has not seen before.
And seeing as this is an issue that has been persisting since the late 1990s, the UN, amongst other nations, has been trying to eradicate this issue, yet it has not been affirmative and effective due to the fact that countries such as the US and others have tried to give food aid but have been ineffective.
Our second topic is the exploitation of workers by transnational corporations.
So this topic talks about how major organizations such as Apple, Nike, Zara, H&M, how they produce outside of their country and how this affects the country they're producing it in, how it affects their workers, the workers' rights, and the economic situation in that country.
And because they have shops all over the world, it makes them a major superpower when it comes to the economy. And because they dictate the economy of the country and employment rates, it leads to an issue of the fact that these countries cannot stand up for themselves economically and with their GDPs.
We are the advisory panel, and for this year's conference we're debating the topics of the question of narcotic drug trafficking and the question of freedom of speech and mass censorship.
The theme of this conference is empowering human development in an increasingly globalized society. This relates to the question of freedom of speech a lot as we become more globalized, people from all around the world start to interact, and their cultures and values may cross paths. So it is very important to maintain human development while maintaining the freedom of speech, mass censorship, to protect people, and mass surveillance to maintain security.
Similarly, the rising globalization has caused an increase in mass trade, free trade throughout the world, meaning that lots of complex and illicit drug trafficking networks have also increased throughout the world, especially in the regions of Africa, China, and Southern Europe. This, we also feel, is an important topic that had to be addressed by the advisory panel.
We are the Historical Security Council, and the topics we have chosen for this annual Kicsmun conference is the question of the Rwandan genocide and the question of the Vietnam War.
We chose these topics because they are of absolute relevance to our world and our history. The Vietnam War was a long, costly war between the North and South Vietnamese people at the height of the Cold War. What happened in Vietnam was but a symptom of a deeper malady within the American spirit. However, for the genocide, the whole of humanity was wounded by the Rwandan genocide. Millions were killed and slaughtered.
The theme of this year's conference relates to both globalization and development. The Vietnam War was the first globalized and nationalized war. It was seen across continents through the TV channels. However, for the Rwandan genocide, we cannot talk about development with such mass murder going around.
And count all the reasons we are the champions. There ain't no turning back. Saying
access to the sufficient the individual. This year's theme is empowering human development and increasing the theme revolves around
Dependent in a increasingly small world.
You use increasingly so much.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, okay.
Don't figure.
Sorry. Chill.
Let's go. طلع جواك. تعال.
خلاص.
يا ولد المشكلة I have to make my voice deeper. We are the Security Council, and our topics are maintenance of
will truly empower human development.
You better be.
This major problem we have I didn't want to say as they said.
I told you, say it, my friend.
Okay. Actually, talk about how we can solve this issue. This issue is a pressing issue.
I've seen it coming. I saw it coming. She was trying. She was trying so hard.
You said this thing like, as they say.
As cooperate.
No, seriously, I thought that's what I was told.
No, you're getting related to the theme. You have to explicitly mention the theme.
What's the difference?
Yeah, I know. Wallah, I don't know what's the difference. Wait, can I do one topic and Anas do another one?
Because what's the
You
difference?
can do topic وتقوم تبدو تاني التوبيك الثاني تلفه.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay, so
Can gonna go bless me.
Mhm.